Okay, we're up.
Yeah.
Recording. Okay, thank you, everybody, for coming to the first Energy Committee meeting of fiscal year 2026. First of all, are there any members of the public on the Zoom?
What do you?
We don't see any
No.
participants, Amanda?
No, just
There's
us.
one that makes it us.
Okay, so we don't have any. I guess what we'd like to do is get from Amanda an update on any town energy news.
So for updates, the one that was outstanding to bring you guys up to speed is the solar array at the senior center was installed like well over a year ago at this point, but it hasn't been live. They had a long lead time on the batteries, and they kept pushing off that installation. They had to do some roofing rework. So all that work is actually, ironically, we're meeting is projected for this upcoming week. Later this week. So they have to relocate some of the panels and then install the battery on a precast slab and tie it all together. And then it should, then they'll just be waiting and then it'll be live finally.
Do you know who they got the batteries and the panels from?
I do not know.
So
How about the installer?
Ace is the.
Ace.
Mhm.
They think Ace. They're a local right on the Cape, as I recall, from Solarize. I think they were one of the bidders. So when might we be able to see something happening there? We don't have a date?
Everything keeps getting pushed off. So hopefully they'll have the roof work done by the end of this week. They were having issues with traffic and getting hotels for their staff. I'm trying to see here where they had a footnote of where they're located. It says North Andover, this person, the project manager's name is Sam. So hopefully soon.
It's a tough time.
If you get a firm date on when they're gonna turn it on
Mhm.
or do a major installation out there or something,
Yeah.
just send me an email on
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I might like to go.
Mhm.
Anybody else to, well, if I get it, I'll send it
Please
on to
do,
you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
Generally, starting those up are relatively uneventful.
I have bad vibes on solar stuff. And you've been in town for a long time. You're aware of the Solarize program that we ran 4 or 5 years ago here.
No,
That went belly up.
no, I just actually put panels on my roof.
Oh, did you?
That was its own nightmare. Company did excellent work on the roof. Showed no evidence of competence for anything on the ground, but I was finally.
Generating electricity now?
No, they
Oh,
didn't seem to know much about electrical design, which is kind of disappointing. They finally got my installation in. 4 wiring errors later. There's only 3
what was
components.
that? What was this?
It was an outfit called Empower Energy Solutions out of Connecticut.
Oh.
You would think with only 3 components, probability says there's only, there's only 6 different ways you can arrange them. Took 7 iterations of a design plan before they had something on paper that.
They
was
never ever
correct.
done an installation before.
The installation included a generator transfer switch, which is something they'd never seen before.
I have never heard of something that went smoothly with a solar installation.
Yeah.
And then after installation, there were 4 major wiring errors. Just like there aren't enough wires to make that many errors, but they did. But when it was finally shepherded to completion, it was relatively uneventful. You have to look at a phone app to see what the energy flow around there. You'll be doing the same thing at the at the senior center. It's just the numbers will be bigger.
Okay, Amanda, do you know? Will we be required to submit minutes? Since,
That's, I was asking Kathy that, she said that meeting notes would be, I don't know. It's a little, right, it's supposed to be 7 members, so then you're, in order to meet, you have to meet quorum, which is at least the majority, so it'd be 4 of the 7 members. And, you know, we're less than that now, so it's, but it's hard when you're trying to like get momentum going, so we're still are meeting. And, but yeah, there's nothing to like, you can't vote on anything, so I think if you just have meeting notes, then that would be okay.
but submit them.
Yeah, just for,
So,
yeah, for
okay.
discussion, I think it's a little,
So along that line, we need somebody to serve as secretary. Any volunteers? Mike,
Okay, sure.
yeah, I kind of laid it out for you for taking notes. I'll take the
Yeah.
notes too.
Yeah.
Minutes.
feel like I
even though
have
we
to
had
be
firm
funny.
minutes, they're not very complicated.
Yeah.
If you go back to, they store them all the way back, and I think that they have minutes in the archive online, you can resurrect back to 2008 anyways or something, but some of them aren't very good actually, so. But,
and we have closed captions on and the meetings are recorded, so it can export like a Word file that you can just,
yeah,
if you forget,
Yeah.
or forgot to get some
right,
information.
Sandra
Thank
and
you.
Bob were just getting into using that
Mhm.
last fall. Okay. All right, so along those lines, the main thing I wanted to talk about here today was this draft of Yarmouth Energy Committee Annual Operating Plan for fiscal year 2026. The fiscal year for the town starts July 1. So we are now in fiscal year 2026, right, Amanda?
Mhm. Right.
Although I sat in on the board had a special meeting Saturday to go over goals. They were supposed to set the new goals. I sat in on the first hour and a half, and all they did was talk about the old goals and what they did do, and what more than that, what they didn't do, what they should do, and all that sort of thing. So I never saw any firm goals. The only one goal that I would be looking for would be something that had to do with energy. Did you get anything from that?
Not
meeting.
yet, no, I haven't heard.
That's
Usually they'll
something
they usually will draft it and circulate it internally, but
okay, so I imagine you will be looking for any goals that the board establishes.
right, yeah.
If you get that, could you send a copy to me too?
Yeah.
Because obviously I'd like our annual operating plan, among other things, to at least address the goal that the board sees as something that they think needs to be done. So along those lines, if you look at the next page.
That reminded
probably
me
a
of what you
full-
said too, was, sorry to interrupt, was one of the other points, but I don't have all the details for, was that they got together a grant application for a part-time energy
Right.
manager.
Yeah, and that, I guess there's been $45,000 allocated to that position. I think she said Mark Forrest is wanting to do a little bit more with it, so it's not happening right now in the immediate
Oh,
term.
okay,
It might be a little bit off. That was in response to the proposal that Liz had sent in, right? Did you
Mhm.
see that? Yeah.
So for the notes, there's a grant application for an energy manager in the works? Is
In
that
the
what-
works,
in the
I
works?
would say. And part of that response, well, I think Mark wants to make it a full-time position. And probably budgeted for by the town to pay for.
Mm.
But part of the responsibilities of that person, that office, will be to get more grant money into the town.
Mhm.
And along those lines, I know one thing that I just started looking into, based on something Joyce had sent me, was this climate leader. You seen that?
I saw the email come in.
Yeah, climate leader. I got online and did a lot of digging and found out a lot of stuff. There's, again, that's something that the state sponsors, but there's potentially $1 million that the town could get to support that effort. Which is quite a bit. You know, when we're talking solarized, I think 11,000 was like the maximum we could get. That was mainly to do outreach, meetings, marketing materials, stuff like that. But I mean, $1 million. Can do some good things with $1 million these days still. So I'll be keeping my thumb on that just to see what happens. It would be basically require a proposal to be written and have to be approved by the board before you officially go after it. I know Truro has actually been successful in getting that done. So they're underway, and that's one of the things I'll do is find out exactly what they're doing, how they got it, and all that, if we decide to do that. But, okay, on this page 2, this is kind of a one-page summary of the operating plan, and what I did was I took the last one that I did 5 years ago and updated it, changed some things around here. But basically, if you look in the, and I call, well, let's start at the top. And, you know, in any good plan, I think you have to have a vision of where you want to be and what the mission should be. And so this is the vision that I had come up with a while ago. A strong and prosperous town that is powered by clean, affordable, and secure energy. The mission, and this is, I think, the most important part and consistent with what I hear the board people talking about, to inspire energy sustainability throughout the town of Yarmouth. That's all we can do as a committee is inspire. We don't have any budget or anything to go out and buy things or offer residents rebates, tax rebates, or anything of that sort. So all we can try to do is educate them, get them pumped up to say, this is a good thing. Let's individually do it. So along those lines, then, 4 aspirations. First, to reduce the energy consumption within Yarmouth by 20% by 2030. I have in the past worked on this MEI data, which Energy Insight. What is it? Massachusetts Energy Insight?
think so,
I don't
yeah.
know. So anyway, I'm sure that the town has a username and password. I got somebody's in the past. They let me use theirs, but one of the town employees had it. So I got in there and was able to play around with their data a lot to get how much energy consumption we were having in Yarmouth year by year and by type. So that would be one of them by 2030, this being a 5-year plan. Number 2, educate Yarmouth residents on the availability of Energy Saver home loans. I kind of picked that out of the Cape Light Compact as something that they brought up that they would like to see done, that there are these Energy Saver home loans available. And they are of the opinion that certainly people in Yarmouth, as well as around the Cape, are unaware of these things or they don't pursue them. So, maybe we could run some information meetings or something like that to get people up to speed on what that's all about. Number 3, accelerate the decarbonization of Yarmouth. That's what I hear. Again, a lot of talk about decarbonization. People aren't talking so much, I think, about renewable energy as much as they are now of, let's just decarbonize stuff. And
Really?
I think so.
Huh.
And, there's a big push to nuclear energy countrywide. And actually, I got called out of retirement to work on a startup. I think Mike knows, startup for developing fusion energy, which everybody would hope to see that it might be up and running by 2030. There's some company that says they're going to be up and running by 2028, but I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway, that's something you could look at. I don't know. I don't know if I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody pull the Plymouth nuclear plant back online. All these AI companies are getting into old nuclear plant, right? And the final number 4 goal, aspiration goal, is to promote consumer advocacy. And that would be try to keep in touch with the state legislators and make sure they're aware of Yarmouth's interest and Yarmouth's needs to see if we can't get things sent our way. So those are the 4 goals in town, and I mean, just the 3 core principles I think that we should always keep in mind is the things we're looking at are affordability, certainly to the residents, reduced environmental impacts, and consumer choice, give them a choice. We wouldn't want to force them down any one path. So,
Hey, maybe just a thought on this first bullet. You know, this sounds like a laudable goal, reducing energy consumption
yeah,
by 20%.
Yeah.
I think all the things you have listed, you might argue we're at a point of diminishing returns as to what you can really accomplish with that. I mean,
that's probably
so
true.
many people have Energy Star rated houses now.
Yeah.
You know.
Except there are a
sealed
lot
windows
of
and stuff.
residents in Yarmouth, correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda, that haven't done a thing. I'm not aware of anything.
Yeah, but I mean,
Maybe on the lower
over-
income side.
overall, I think a bullet that probably should be in here is alternate sources, you know, like
Yeah.
rooftop solar, because I wasn't sure really what you meant by consumption there, because you take my house as an example, I don't consume any less energy than I did before. But a lot of it is made on my roof now instead of
Yeah.
coming in through utilities. So you could look at an alternate energy source as a form of consumption reduction.
Well, so if I was looking at your house, I'd say, okay, that was energy from the
Mhm.
utility reduced.
Yep,
You gotta take full credit for that,
yeah,
right? Because it would not show up on the MEI database, for instance, as energy that was being produced by the utilities and consumed within the town.
but you could argue that if I doubled the size of my roof array, my consumption is irrelevant. I mean, if I never import
Oh,
it,
yeah.
then what I
Oh,
use is.
I mean, yeah, we wouldn't even be looking at, right now, we wouldn't even be looking at your house probably.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying is that maybe alternate sources should be a strategy. We should include in
Feel-
that mix as
Feel
well.
free to add this and whatnot and get back to me. This is a draft and I've got it for you guys.
I would
we-
cite Nantucket is running into an interesting conundrum that I think you're gonna see affect a lot of other towns.
What's that?
They're seeing the load grow faster than they expected. At least electrical load, you know, energy obviously is a broad term, you know, when you take into account fuel energy as well as electrical and other stuff, but they're seeing faster electrical load growth than they really intended, because despite finding ways of reducing people's consumption, we're also running around like crazy. You see all the mini splits that are growing on the sides of people's houses. You know, so you're reducing your maybe your fuel bill, but you're raising your energy, your electrical use as a result. Now, hopefully the net of that is a net reduction, but that's why I said this reduced consumption is a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, and like in the electricity side, they've seen with the explosive growth of mini splits, car chargers, that kind of stuff, you know, we're encouraging growth on one end to offset reduction on the other end, so.
Right, which of course feeds into number 3 where we accelerate the decarbonization. Right. So, yeah, no, those are good points, Dean.
Yeah, the decarbonization, the only reason that surprised me really is, I don't know, maybe I think more like a Yankee, but like decarbonization sounds really nice, but lowering my bill sounds even better. So I'm curious how many people really get excited about this versus at the end of the day, is there any way I can spend less money?
Agreed. That's why one of our core principles is affordability down there.
Yep,
Something we always have to keep in mind. Okay, so look now, then on page 3, the rest of the pages, I've got, 3 through we're part of, 6, I guess. Number of tasks, 6 tasks. And one of the things, you'll see some of the text is kind of grayed out because it was in red on my computer and I didn't have a color printer, I only black and white. But the idea was that a lot of this I extracted from my previous plan, and the things that are grayed out are probably stuff that we need to revise or eliminate. One in particular was task 5, at least, when I was first thinking about doing this, I had no inclination to want to mess around with electric and hybrid electric vehicles. Whereas in the past, we were thinking about doing that, but now, I don't know, maybe if you look at the orders on the first page there, maybe we need to look at them anyway. Take a look at that. I just ask you to read through this and see where you think any changes would need to be made. We'll have to do that now, but sometime in the next couple of weeks. And again, send me a note on any recommendation. Did I send you guys? I didn't send you guys the electronic copy of this, did I? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So I'll send you that and you could work right on that. You know, track changes or something like that. You all work in Word, I assume. Are you guys PC guys? I'm a Mac guy.
I have a Mac and a PC.
Do you-
Yeah,
I use the Mac now.
I found myself straddling the fence,
What do you use? On the
PC.
PC,
but I have Office on my Mac, so I'm
Yeah,
good either
same
way.
here.
that's what I have. I got Office on.
The only reason I went down the Mac road is because I started recording videos, and in order to manage a video library, it's easier to do it offsite than WPI server. So when I started rendering videos with my PC, what happened on a server and took like 4 hours on a PC. And
Yeah,
then I noticed the promise of the Mac processors with their newest chipset was back to like 10 minutes of rendering. So I was like, the Mac is blindingly fast, but all the buttons are in the places.
you get used to it after I had to I switched from a PC to a Mac when I went personal. And when I got back into work, I had to work on both. That was like it.
That's my only actual complaint is getting used to it. Like I say, it's blindingly fast. It's just that all the buttons are not where I expect them.
Okay, so I say this, it's tasks there, if we could look at those. The other thing I really need to know is which task do you think you would be willing to assume responsibility for if we undertake them? So you could jot that down as well. I guess have that on here someplace. Oh, yes. Okay, page 7. Page 7. I actually filled out some things that I thought, I could take responsibility for. You see that on the tasks on page 7. But, and then on page 6, what I wanted to do was cross-reference our aspirations, tasks with the goals that come from the Board of Selectmen, Select Board now they're called, right? Select Board. And this is based on old stuff because I don't have the new goals from the Select Board yet. Hopefully we'll have them before our next meeting. And there will be only one, I think, goal that would pertain directly to energy. So Amanda will be in touch with those and she'll send it to me when she finds out what the board determined as an energy goal for what I'm calling fiscal year 2026. I'm not sure what the board calls it. I think they'll call them 2025 goals based on what I heard at the meeting on Saturday. They were reviewing what they had accomplished on the 2024 goals. Joyce tried to explain to me that the goals depended on when the board of selectmen were elected, and she was elected last, when, November or December, and then Liz was just elected recently.
Yeah.
Who knows when they're gonna start the clock on the next set of goals, but anyway, we'll find out what they are. And okay. So.
Maybe one comment, I can take a stab at this on my own, go through this, but I was kind of noticing sort of two buckets or audiences for the objectives. Looks like they're objectives for Yarmouth as a municipal and its own energy usage.
Right.
And then there's Yarmouth, the community,
Right.
where you're looking to help the citizenry with its energy usage.
You've got municipal, you got schools. You got buildings and you got vehicles in both of those. Then you've got business and you've got private residents. And then we can actually break up the private residents by what fuel use that they currently have predominantly. And I've got a lot of that data. It's about 3 or 4 years old now, but at least given that I've developed it once, I should be able to develop it much more quickly the next time around. But that's right, we'll be looking at all these various sectors, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, the reason that just sticks in my mind is as I'm going through the tasks, it isn't really clear as you go through each task which sector it's addressing. It might be, I think, good to see if we can't.
Yeah, well, you could take that task, then break it up.
Yeah, no, I figured I'd share.
Yeah.
It's up, since I opened my mouth, I guess
Yeah.
it's up to me to
Yeah.
act, but I
Jot
want
it
to
down.
tell you what I was thinking.
Well, so we'll build this up. We're probably, I mean. I don't know, matter what, I mean, if we don't get. 7, or at least, I'm gonna say at least 4 members. I don't know if we really need 7, but
No, I think
can
it
we
should be
do
one.
anything official? With 3 of us?
I'd have to reach out to Mary Alice and Pam
Yeah.
to determine how
What we
far it
can.
could get pushed. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
okay. Do you, are all the other committees, do they all have a minimum of 7 people, do you know?
No, yeah, I don't, they don't all have the minimum of
Yeah.
what they're chartered to have, but I mean, they do have, a handful of them are between 5 and 7.
Yeah.
I think by having the action plans and how to help, can kind of, advertise it. I know that they've done a little bit, whether it's at the select board meetings or in the pamphlets, trying to get people more involved with different committees. But I think when someone has their personal agenda, it helps them want to participate into a committee a little bit more, so.
Yeah, something to that. Mike basically got my interest just through personal relationship, but he caught me right because I was like, I lived here practically all my life, except for my short stint of going to school and thinking I was off this island, and then I
You
came.
go to high school here on the Cape?
Yeah, I watched the short in time for first grade at well, at the time it was West Yarmouth Elementary School. And Margaret Small was the principal, and she lived down the street from me. I lived on West Yarmouth Road, stone's throw 6A. I used to mow her lawn. She was a great lady. And then I went to Worcester Polytech, so I was,
DY or?
yep. Yeah, no, I've always been a Yarmouth resident here. Like I said, I went to Worcester to go to school. Hung around for another 3 years in the Worcester area. My wife and I got tired of complaining every summer of not being able to go to the beach and missing it, so we came back and I've been back in town ever since.
Now, both of you guys are, I mean, retired,
No,
like good, but working,
circling the drain, as they say.
Yeah, full-time employee.
circling the what?
I joke and say I'm circling the drain.
Yeah.
I actually have 2 jobs, which, but
You
get a-
working on a 1099 basis for everyone?
no, I work for National Grid. This July 1, I celebrated my 41st year for National Grid and its predecessor companies. I started off with a little one.
You working 40 hours a week?
Yeah. Yeah, full time. And then I had my other hat, a part-time professor at Worcester Polytech.
So are you,
That's how I met Mike.
Yeah, I'm also, although Dean teaches power engineering and I teach business at
Ah.
WPI. And so, and I'm also a WPI grad, and I'm a couple of master's degrees in RPI.
you guys teach remotely?
I do both. Right now, I'm teaching a remote course for prospective line workers
Yeah,
in Connecticut. And then I also teach Nigerians for State University of New York Polytech.
Huh.
And then face to face, I do my business class at Worcester Poly.
you have to drive into Worcester?
Yeah, I do. I'll teach one course a year. Yeah.
Wow.
I got lucky. I was always teaching for corporate cohorts, so.
Yeah.
I would teach at a company's facility. I taught for National Grid, I taught for, when they were Northeast Utilities.
Yeah.
I have an Eversource cohort coming up this fall,
Right.
but with COVID, I couldn't go back to online teaching because if I have a class of 15 or 18 students, maybe one of them is a continuing, is a full-time student, and maybe half of them are within a drives distance of the Worcester campus. The rest of them are scattered across the time zones. So in my particular discipline, I couldn't go back to live teaching for open
It's all
classes
online. Yeah.
because everybody,
Well, I
you
got-
rule out half your
I've
students.
I've got my line work the last 3 times now. So, so 4 or 5 classes this year. This all.
But I do suffer because the school also sends me to Florida
all right.
for a week every year to teach a class for new hire Florida Power.
Hopefully in the winter time.
November timeframe.
Yeah.
It's
We had someone join,
how I suffer.
What's that?
we had someone join.
Hello.
Hello.
They can't, they're just attended. Just to let you know.
But I'm close enough where
Dave, is that Dave Witter? Are you on? Muted.
There we go. Hello,
Dave? Are you there?
I am. Not sure what's going on here.
So,
Hello, Dave.
Yes, just barely.
Okay,
That's
Okay.
better.
Is this Dave Witter?
yes,
Welcome. So we're just about wrapping up here, but,
I've been here probably 20 minutes or so.
oh, okay, good. So you heard us.
Your link didn't allow me in.
Oh,
The link would not allow you in?
sorry.
that's weird.
Yeah, but I'd like to talk to you, Mike, if you got a few minutes after the meeting.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Maybe we'll get another member.
yeah. Are you interested in becoming a member of the Energy Committee?
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, we'll let you think about it between now and the next meeting, August 11th, and maybe hopefully you'll come in ready to join up.
Well, that'll probably depend upon our discussion.
Okay, so, let me just run through, the last 2 things here. And say, Dave, not Dave, Dean and Mike, do you have any, announcements or suggestions you want to do for
Yeah.
future?
I'm going to explore what is available. I want to become somewhat expert on what programs the electric and gas utilities offer to cut to people.
So
And
that
that goes with, engage with the Yarmouth community and you have senior center info session. The first one is a week from
Yeah,
Wednesday. I've been in contact with them. I'll be doing that.
okay,
Mhm.
good. Dave, are you aware of that, Mike here is going to be, setting up the, information table at the senior center? And you will be there what's the date, Thursday,
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
a week from this Wednesday.
week from Wednesday,
I was just seeing if it was working.
at what, from what time, Dave, Mike?
It starts at 1 p.m.
1 PM,
Yeah.
so.
I'll go till at least 2, but I'll stay as long as people need me.
So if you got any questions on your utility bills,
It's that-
Mike will sort them out for you, Dave.
A week from Wednesday, fourth
Week from-
Wednesday of the month.
Good.
That's
Okay,
pretty much where I am in this process is I've lived a commuter's life all my life. Yes, I've been a Yarmouth resident for most of it, but I worked off Cape for most of it. So I'm looking for being able to be useful in the community.
good to be back, right?
Exactly. So
Why I'm here,
I,
here for the last 10 years or so. Okay, with that, then. Can we adjourn the official meeting, but then keep Dave on to talk, and how do we do that?
Yeah, I can stop that. The only thing was just, you had mentioned the upcoming meeting.
Yeah,
I do
so,
think just to be careful, we're relocate it to conference room B, which is when you come in the side entrance, you go down the stairs, you take a left, take another left,
Okay.
and it's right at the end.
so when I put together the agenda to send to. I don't send that to you, do I? Do I send that to you?
Yeah, yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
So we'll know at that time whether this room is available. or
Yeah,
not.
I think I'm gonna, switch it to.
You're gonna
the other,
switch
just
it?
cause, just so there isn't as to overlap.
Okay,
More
all right.
risk, especially when we go into the fall, like I mentioned with the capital budget meetings. I think
So
that would be
it's-
helpful.
well, it's conference room B.
Yeah.
Basement.
probably need to just let you know, I'll do what I'll put some ideas in this and get it to you before the next meeting.
Yeah.
The next meeting, I'm gonna be on a cruise ship for Bermuda, so I won't be able to make it here.
So we'll see you on Zoom.
Yeah, you can zoom.
I'm not sure I'll have Wi-Fi.
Oh, right, that's-